Today we are going to be working on some ACT questions. These questions are from the middle of the exam. There's 60 questions, you got 60 minutes. So on average you should be doing about a question a minute. And since these are from the middle, they're going to be intermediate difficulty. So these ones should take about a minute per question, ranging from 30 seconds anywhere to 2 minutes. And what I would do, if you're watching this video, is to pause after I read a question and then try it yourself, and then I'll explain how to do it. So let's start with this first one. The expression 7 times x plus 3 minus 3 2x minus 2 is equivalent to, and you got your answer choices. So pause now if you want to try it yourself. I'm going to go ahead and do it. Let's see. So this one works on the distributive property. So let's see. First, we got to distribute to both of these, right? 7x plus 7 times 3 minus 3 times 2x. And now this is the important part. This is where they're trying to trick you. Minus 3 times minus 2 is going to be a positive 6. Right? So plus 6. So now we just got to simplify, right? 7x stays the same, plus 21 minus 3 times 2 is 6x plus 6, right? And then combine like terms, 7x minus 6x is just x, and then 21 plus 6 is going to be 27. That's our final answer, and let's see if it's one of the choices. Yep, it's E. That first one is E. Alright, let's try the next one, 22. Okay, if 115% of a number is 460, what is 75% of the number? So now this one is separated into two phrases, right? Separated by this comma here. So this is that first phrase, right? And that's an equation in itself, right? So 115% of a number. That number is going to be your variable. Let's call it x. Right, 115% of x. Another way to write that is 1.15x, right? That's a big keyword. That means equals 460. 460. So let's solve for x. Divide by 1.15 on both sides, right? X equals, now let's see. This is where a calculator would come in handy, but we can just do it, right? Add 2 zeros, move those decimal places, right? So now it's like 46,000 divided by 115. Let's see, 115 probably goes in there 3 or 4 times. Let's try 4 into 460, right? 4 times 5 is 20. 4 times 1 plus 2 is 6. And 4 times 1 is 4. Oh, perfect. So we got 0, 0, 0, and that is going to get us 400. So x equals 400. Do a mental check to see if that makes sense. 115% of 400 is about 460. That makes sense. So now we can move on to the second part of the question. What is 75% of this number? All right? And so all that's asking is 0.75 times 400, right? So we'll do that multiplication. Okay, 400 times 0.75, right? 5 times 0, 0, 5 times 0 is 0, 5 times 4 is 20, and then we do now 7. 7 times 0 is 0, 7 times 0 is 0, 7 times 4 is 28, right? And then 0, 0, 0, and 10, 3. So now we move the decimal twice, right? And then we get 300. So that's our final answer. Let's see. It is on the answers. So our answer is G. Okay. Now let's, if you missed anything, see if that all makes sense. I'll keep it there for a second. Okay, let's move on to the next one. Okay. So, when 2x minus 3 squared is written in the form ax squared plus bx plus c, where a, b, and c are integers, a plus b plus c equals what? I'll let you pause it if you want to. Now this is an interesting one. Basically we just have to simplify again and use our algebra skills. So let's see, 2x minus 3 squared, because once we simplify that, it'll be in this form, right? So let's try that. So that is the same thing as saying 2x minus 3 times 2x minus 3, right? Distribution is what we need to do now, right? So FOIL, right? First, 2x times 2x. Outer plus 2x times negative 3, right? Got to get that negative. And then inner, right? Negative 3 times 2x. And then let's see if we can fit it. And then last, FOIL. Negative 3 times negative 3. We fit it. Okay. So now we just got to simplify. 2x times 2x is going to be 4x squared, right? And then 2x minus 3 times negative 3 is going to be negative 6x. And then negative 3 times 2x is going to be another negative 6x. And then negative 3 times negative 3 is a positive 9. Okay? So then simplify even more. 4x squared minus 6x is negative 12x. And we keep the plus 9. So now we have our form that we were looking for in the question, ax squared plus bx plus c, right? So that's 4 plus a negative 12, and then plus a 9, right? A plus b plus c. And that's going to equal, let's see, I do 4 plus 9, that's going to be 13. 13 minus 12 is going to be 1. Let's see, that is C. Let's see, is the correct answer there. Alrighty, if you need to look at anything, look it over, pause the video. Let's see, now 24. Let's read it. What is the area in square feet of the figure below? So this is a simple area question. Pause the video, try it out. The way I would do this is I would split this, right? Break it into parts that you can evaluate. I would split it right about here. And draw on the test too. You can use all that space on the exam, especially when there's drawings. And so now we got two boxes, two rectangles that we can easily find the area of. This first one we'll call A and this one B, right? Now A is just a 15 by 15 foot square. So the area of A should be pretty easy to find, right? There's 15 times 15. Let's see, 5 times 5 is 25. 5 times 1 plus 2 is going to be 7. And next one, 1 times 15 is just 15. Add that up. So 5 is 12, 225. So that's our first one, right? And now the interesting part here is we don't know what this length is. That's the hard part to figure out. But what we do know is overall this is 25 feet, right? And this part here is going to be 15 feet from here to here, right? So this is 15 and the whole thing's 25. So this part is going to be 25 minus 15, which equals 10, right? So we have a 10 by 5 foot rectangle there. And 10 by 5 is just going to be 50. And so B equals 50. And now we just add up the 2. 225 plus 50 is going to be 275. And that is going to be H. Good. All right, look that over if you need to. Okay. Next. We have Barb. Barb is going to cover a rectangular area 8 feet by 10 feet with rectangular paving blocks that are 4 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches to make a flat patio. what is the minimum number of paving blocks she will need if all the paving blocks will face the same direction? Note Barb will not cut any of the paving blocks. So this is an interesting one. It's kind of hard to visualize. I would definitely draw a picture on any of these word problems that you don't understand right away. So let's draw a picture. She's covering a rectangular area 8 feet by 10 feet. That looks like about 8 by 10, right? 8 feet by 10 feet. That little apostrophes means feet. 2 apostrophes is inches. And the paving blocks she's using are 4 inches by 8 inches by 2 inches. So that means, let's draw that 3-dimensional. That's 4, we'll say that's 4. A little longer, that's 8. And then 2 inches is only going to be so high. It's going to be like that. Okay. 4, 8, and 2. Inches, inches, inches. Now what's important to do here, since we're trying to fill this with these things, is I would change these to inches and convert. So we're dealing with the same metric. So 8 feet times 12 inches. 12 inches per foot. 8 times 2 is 16. 8 times 1 plus 1 is going to be 9, 96. So this is 96 inches. And then 10 feet, we'll do the same thing. 12 times 10. 0, 0. And then 1, we'll do a 0 for the placeholder. And then 1 times 12 is just 12. So we got 120. So 120 inches. Now, the important part, we're trying to find the minimum number of paving blocks, given any type of orientation with these paving blocks. So we could do it where this part is flat on the ground, which makes sense, because you don't want to put it on its side like a book on its, on its back, because then you'd be stacking up a bunch, in a row. So let's try that. 4 by 8. Let's try this way. So we got 4 inches by 8 inches, right? Now what I would do is we're trying to figure out how many. So we need to figure out how many paving blocks fit on each side, and then we can multiply how many and get a number of paving blocks. So since 8 inches on this side, right, going up and down, and it's 96 inches total, we divide to see how many times we can fit a paving block this way. So 96 divided by 8. This would be another good calculator use, but you can always do it without one. 1 times 8 is 8. You get 16, and that's 2. 2 times 8 is 16, 0. So 12. So you can fit 12 paving blocks this way, right? 12 paving blocks. And now this way, we got 4 inches going that way, and we have 120 inches total across. So we'll do another division. 120 divided by 4. This is a pretty easy division. 4 goes into 12 3 times. 3 times 4 is 12, 0, 0. 4 goes into 0, 0 times. So we can fit 30 blocks across this way, right? So 30 blocks this way. So how many blocks total? We're going to have 12 blocks times 30 blocks, right? So let's do that. 30 times 12. 2 times 0 is 0. 2 times 3 is 6. 0 for the placeholder. 1 times 0 is 0. 1 times 3 is 3. 360. Let's see if that's one of our answers. That is. Now, the other way you could do it is you could do 8 by 4, right? 8 by 4. You are going to get the same answer going that way. And a good way to know that is you got the same area on the top of this paving block. regardless of whether you go this way with it or this way. So it will be the same amount of blocks, no matter which way you do it. And you can do the division and it works out the same and you still get 360. So that's going to be our answer, B for that one. All right, looks like we are out of time, but thanks for watching, and I hope you do well on the ACT.